All right, let's get this started once more. So today we're going to talk about how we work with sales tax, tips, and markups, and your total cost. Now, all of these are added to your cost. Sales tax is added after your total cost. Tip is added to your final bill. Markup is added to the original price. So these are all added to your total to create your total cost. So that's really what we're going to look at today. Tomorrow, the day after, we're going to look at discounts, which are actually subtracted from your total cost. And then we'll look at another concept with simple interest. I'll talk about percent and savings and that kind of stuff. So today, let's take a look at our sales tax. So Drew wants to buy exercise equipment. It costs $140 total, but then he has to pay a sales tax on top of that. So you've all experienced going to the store and it costs $99 and you end up paying $108 or something for the tax, for whatever you bought. And that's because you had to add your sales tax onto it. So one of the things I want you guys to look at is sales tax is an added concept, okay? And it's added to the total price. So one of the things I want you to think of, the total price is $140. Okay. Do you have to pay the $140? Yes. So to make this a little easier on us, since it's an added cost, we already have to pay, this is equal to 100% of the price. So we're going to add our sales tax onto that to find out how much I have to multiply my price by to find out what my total cost would be. So when I do a problem like this, I always have to pay the total cost of the product, in this case $140 exercise equipment, plus the sales tax. So I'm going to end up paying 105 75% of that total 140. So this is really similar to our percent equations. I've got percent times our part of our price will equal our total price. So we're going to set this kind of problem up as once I've added my actual cost and then my sales tax, this is what I'm going to multiply. So I'm going to go 140 times, or in parentheses, 105.75. And then I'm just going to type it into my calculator. 140 times 1.057. Now, one thing we have to quickly go, if that's percent, we've got to switch this quickly down into decimals. So I'm actually going to multiply this by 1.0575. And I'm going to type it all out. And that's going to give me my cost of how much my total cost is. That's adding automatically our sales tax onto our price. So when I type that in my calculator, I get that my sales tax is $148.05. My total cost, so my sales tax would be $805. My total cost was $140. Added together, this is my total cost of my exercise equipment. All right, go ahead and help try to figure out this limited edition soccer ball that costs $30. How much would your total cost be if you had to pay a 6% sales tax? All right. So now that you've had a chance to think it out, again, it's very similar to what we started out. We have $30, okay, times our total 100%, so 1, plus 0.06 this time. I'm going to switch them straight to decimal to make my life even easier. And I'm going to have 30 times 1 600ths, and that's going to give me 31.8. Now, we know that that's not the correct answer because it's money, it's cost. We have to add a zero and a dollar sign. So it's $31.80 is my total cost. So my sales tax would have been $1.80. That's the 6% above 30. All right. Now, tip is the same idea. When you go out to a restaurant, servers don't make a lot of money. $4 an hour. That's really, really low. So you typically tip them on top of that. Okay. So the customer wants to tip 15% on his restaurant bill of $35. So just like our previous one, you still have to pay your $35, which is 100% of your bill. You can't walk out without paying your bill. You're going to pay an additional 15% on your $35. So 35 is going to be times 1 plus 0.15. So you're going to do 35 times 1 1500ths. So you're going to end up paying, you're going to tip the person in the additional, that 15% additional tip, and that's going to make your total cost being $40.25. So you tip them $5.25 on your bill. They get to keep that, and the $35 goes to the restaurant to pay for your food and drinks and things like that. That's going to be your total cost. All right, go ahead and try to figure out what Whitney would have to pay at her diner if she decided to tip with 20%. Don't worry about the solve it two different ways. I'll tell you another way to think about it in a minute. All right, so same as before, we're going to multiply 26, but this time I'm going to multiply by 1.2. And I find out that her bill is going to be $31.20. Now, there's another way to think of it. I don't like it this way, but I want to show it to you just so some of you guys can think it out. Could I do this a slightly different way? I could. I could find out what 20% of $26 is. So I can multiply it by 26 times 0.2 and find out my amount is $5.20. And we talked about how we did this in our estimating. That would just be moving our decimal point 1 to the right and finding out that 10% was $2.60 and multiplying that by 2. And then would I have to add that onto my 26? Yeah, and we'd still get our $31.20. It just seems like more work to do it this way when it seems simpler to go ahead and do this way, because I can add these two together much quicker than worrying about adding $5.26 after the fact. It just seems to save me one step. All right, now let's take a look. What if I have another question similar? What if I want to know if I can pay for it? So we've done problems like this before, but we haven't included tax before. So if your haircut costs you $20 and you have a sales tax of $4.75, is $25 enough money to cover tax and a 15% tip? So this one's going to take a little bit more thinking to it. So we got to think about, we still have to pay our haircut. So we have 20%. We know that's 100% of our total. We have to pay $4.75% tip or tax, and we got to pay, and we're choosing to tip our hairstylist $15 or 15%. So I'm going to have to add all of these up to find out what I'm going to multiply by 20. So I'm going to end up getting 119.75%. So I'm going to multiply 20 times 1.1975. And let's see, 20 times 1.1975. It says that I really have, so with the 15% tip and the tax, it would cost me $23.95. So yes, I have enough to cover the tip. Have enough, there you go, enough if I have $25. Okay, all right, your turn to give this same style a try. This time you get a manicure. Boys, that's when they work on your nails, not your toes. That's a pedicure. All right, so let's see how we set this up. This time we're going to just bring it all into one idea. 18 times, so 8.5 quarter by plus 20, so it's going to be 1.285. Oh, I did that wrong. I apologize. It's not 1.28, it's 1.2825. There we go. And I'm going to figure that out 18 times 1.2825. and find out that that's going to be $23. And now this one has 23.085. Now, I'm just going to give you a little hint. When you're talking about money, if you're the company that's charging the money, are you going to want more money or less money? More. So anytime you're talking about this and you're trying to figure out total, you always want to round up. Even if it's just 0.3 cents of a dollar, you're going to round up to the next dollar. So you're going to say it's going to cost a total of $23.09. If you only have $22, do you have enough to cost? No, because $22 is less. Okay, $23 is greater than $22, so no, you don't have enough money. So go save a little bit more money or find some change in your car seat or the couch before you go and have this manicure done. All right, now, same idea behind this. So all stores make money on what they sell. Every store. They're going to buy it at a lower price, and then they're going to place a markup on it to see what their customers would sell it for, to buy it for. So this is another one of those additions. So if the store company pays $56, okay, they're going to want to get back that same, all of the price they paid plus more. This store is going to take, and that's what we call our markup. Okay, so this store has a 25% markup. So it's going to multiply 56 times 1 and 2500ths. So if they want to mark this one up, they're going to sell this for $70. They're going to make 25% on their cost, on what they paid for it. They're going to make 25% of it in addition to what they're selling for. It covers their costs, like their electricity, their heat, their employees, their building, all that different things. That's why places like Amazon can sell things for cheaper, because they don't have physical stores that people can come in and they have to pay not just the distribution people, but everyone to do. All right, your turn to find out what the markup is on this $20 t-shirt if they want to make a 40% profit or markup. All right, so if you had that $20, and this time we're going to go ahead and jump right to, so they're going to make 140%, that turns into 1.4, and that's going to be a total of $20. So they're going to sell this same t-shirt they paid for $20, they're going to charge $28 on the markup to whoever's buying it. All right, that kind of runs us through the entire lesson. If you have questions, please come talk to me, and we'll be happy to help you work on these problems. Have a great day.